Good morning. Today I am discussing on one more experiment, that is pKa determination. pKa determination involves, you are finding out the dissociation constant. Okay, dissociation constant is denoted as Ka, where dissociation means the extent of dissociation, the extent of breaking. Okay, so when you write a chemical reaction, the dissociation constant is given by the concentration of the product by the concentration of the reactant. Okay, so this is for acid also, base also is there, but now we are discussing on dissociation constant of an acid, therefore it is denoted by the subscript A. Okay, so dissociation means how much the acid dissociates. The extent of dissociation decides the strength of the acid. For example, if you take a strong acid like hydrochloric acid, see, if you write hydrochloric acid, it dissociates to give H plus ion sign, Cl minus ion, and it is 100% dissociation and full complete dissociation, therefore it is a strong acid. A weak acid is the one like, for example, acetic acid. I am taking the example of acetic acid. It dissociates to give CH3COO minus ions plus H plus ions. Okay, so this is not complete dissociation, means first it produces some ions, later they combine to give back the acid. Therefore, you cannot tell 100% has been dissociated or broken into ions, nor you can tell nothing has been dissociated. Okay, so therefore the percentage of dissociation lies below 1, from 0 to 1. Therefore, a weak acid is the one which partially dissociates, and you can find out the dissociation constant only of a weak acid, because for a strong acid it is always 1, because 100% dissociation. If you see the dissociation constant formula, 100% has been converted into products, there are no reactants, therefore the dissociation constant is 1. Therefore, for a strong acid there is no need to find out the dissociation constant. For as a weak acid, we need to find out the dissociation constant, because depending upon the dissociation constant, we can tell how much this acid is strong. Okay, so if it is nearing to 1, it is a strong acid. And if you are given two acids, let us assume you are given with acid A and acid B. Okay, so you need to report which one is stronger. In that case, you need to know the dissociation constant. If the dissociation constant is higher, that means dissociation is more. If the dissociation is more, that means this acid is more strong. Therefore, higher dissociation constant, the higher is the acid. So, out of A and B, whichever is higher dissociation, undergoes higher dissociation, that is a stronger acid. Okay, so when you have to decide the strength, then we need to know the dissociation constant. So, in this experiment, you will be given a weak acid, you will be given with acetic acid. You have to find out the dissociation constant of the given acid. Okay, so now let us substitute, considering this equation. Acetic acid dissociates to give acetate ions and H plus ions. What I do is I substitute to the dissociation constant Ka. Okay, substituting that, you have Ka is equal to concentration of product by concentration of reactant. From the reactions, I will be taking the products and the reactants. As you know, this is the products. So, I will be writing concentration of acetate ions and concentration of H plus ions divided by concentration of reactant. This is the reactant. So, I will be writing the reactant, concentration of CH3COOH. Now, I will rearrange the equation. I will take the H plus this side. Okay. Okay. Now, Ka into CH3COO minus, CH3COOH divided by CH3COO minus. Okay. Now, I have got this expression. What I will do is, I will introduce negative log on both the sides. Therefore, it will be minus log of H plus is equal to minus log of Ka plus minus log of CH3COOH divided by CH3COO minus. Okay. Now we know that minus log of H plus is equal to pH. Similarly, minus log of Ka is equal to pK. Okay. Substituting this here and this here, we have pH is equal to pKa minus log of concentration of CH3COOH divided by concentration of CH3COO minus. Okay. So now this expression is called Henderson-Heisenberg expression. Okay. Now using this expression, we need to find out the pKa. Okay. Once we find out the pKa, we can find out the Ka because pKa is equal to minus log of Ka. Therefore, Ka is equal to anti-log of minus pKa. So you can find out the Ka. Why we are using this expression? Because we don't have an instrument which directly gives you the pKa. We have to make use of the pH meter. Okay, but if you use the pH meter, you will get pKa, but along with that, this expression is there. Okay, only when the readings what you record in the pH meter is nothing but the pH of the solution. You have to relate the pH to pKa. That means whatever readings you are noting down as pH, that should be equal to pKa. Okay, so but if you see the expression, pH is equal to pKa, but there is another component here. Okay, now only if this part becomes 0, then only pH will be equal to pK. Okay, now we have to do the experiment in such a way that we need to get this part 0. How will we get this part 0? When this part is equal to 1. Okay, therefore log of 1 is 0. When will this part be equal to 1? Only when CH3COOH, that is acid concentration, is equal to the salt concentration or the ion concentration. Okay, if this is equal to this concentration, then CH3COOH divided by CH3COO minus becomes 1 because they are of equal concentration. They will divide, they will cancel and become 1. Log of 1 becomes 0. Therefore, this term will become 0. Therefore, pH will be equal to pK. Okay. Now, our experiment is we need to practically create a situation such that acid concentration is equal to the ion concentration, and at that condition we need to measure the pH, and the pH at that condition is nothing but the pK. Now how do I find out the point? How do I find out the time when this acid is equal to the acetate concentration? For this I need to do an experiment. For that experiment, in the burette I will be filling sodium hydroxide. In the conical flask or the beaker, I will be taking the acetic acid. Okay. So now what I do is I will draw the tabular columns. Here I will be writing sodium hydroxide, how much sodium hydroxide I have taken, and in the next column I will be recording the pH. Initially I have not added any sodium hydroxide, it is 0. Now what I do is I will be using the glass electrode and calomel electrode, combination of glass and calomel electrode. I will dip it in the acetic acid. Acetic acid will be given to you. You need to pipette out 50 ml into a clean beaker. Okay. When you dip the electrodes, that is glass and calomel electrode, they will sense the pH of the solution. pH is, you have taken an acid, therefore obviously the pH will be acidic pH only. Let me just assume a value 3. Okay. So now what I do is I will add 0.5 ml of sodium hydroxide. When I add 0.5 ml of sodium hydroxide, what happens is some of the acid, see for example, let me just write the reaction again, CH3COOH giving CH3COO minus plus H plus. Now I have added the sodium hydroxide. When I add sodium hydroxide, it splits to give Na plus and OH minus. Now this acid concentration is recorded here initially. Now when I add sodium hydroxide, this OH and H plus gets converted into water. So the concentration of H plus reduces. Therefore the acid strength also reduces, that is pH increases. Okay. Now I will add, but still it is in the acid range because all the acid has not been neutralized. Okay. So again I will add in another 0.5 ml. So totally I have added 1 ml. When I add one more 0.5 ml, some more H plus gets converted into water. So the pH again increases. Now this let me assume as 4. Now this addition of sodium hydroxide, you should go on adding in an increments of 0.5 and you should go on recording the pH. Okay. So let us assume I have recorded the pH. Okay. Now what I do is, let us assume, now when I add 2 ml, when I add this, let us assume all the acid got over. Okay. Now what happens when the acid gets over? This reaction is not there because there is no acid. It's only sodium hydroxide now. Sodium hydroxide gives Na plus and OH minus. Now the pH will not be in the acid range because there is no acid. Suddenly the electrodes will sense the base. Sodium hydroxide is a strong base. Therefore the electrodes will display or show the pH of the base, that is sodium hydroxide. It is something around 11. Okay, assuming the values, we will be doing the experiment. So now suddenly the pH jumps. Now when you see the readings, you can say that till here there was acid, after this there is no acid. That means at this point all the acid has been converted into salt. CH3COO minus is nothing but CH3COO Na. Okay, all the acid is converted into salt. Okay. Now that means under the condition, let us assume this condition, that is at 2 ml of sodium hydroxide, at 2 ml, the concentration of acid is 0. Acid is 0 because there is no acid, everything has been converted into salt, and the concentration of salt is 100% because everything has been converted into salt. But we need to maintain a condition where acid concentration is equal to the salt concentration, that is 50-50, not 0-100. This should also be 50, this also should be 50. Only then they both will get cancelled and log of 1 will be 0, then the pH will be equal to pKa. Okay. So now if you see the readings, you just cannot tell, when you are doing the experiment, you cannot tell when the 50% acid has been neutralized, when 50% is not neutralized, that we cannot do. But only if you do the experiment, you can only make out when the complete acid has been neutralized. Okay. So but once you get complete neutralization, that is 2 ml, then we can tell at 2 ml 100% acid has been converted into salt, that is concentration of acid is 0. What might be the condition at 1 ml? This is called half neutralization point. At 2 ml acid is 0. What might be at 1 ml? Right? At 1 ml, obviously 50%, that is half of acid has been neutralized, half of the acid is in acid form. That is, the concentration of acid is equal to the concentration of salt. Okay. So in the experiment, what you have to do is, you have to go on adding sodium hydroxide until you get complete neutralization. Once you get complete neutralization, after that you have to draw a graph, that is sodium hydroxide versus pH, and at half neutralization point, where is the corresponding pH? That pH is nothing but the pKa. Okay. Once you find out the Ka, you can find out once you find out the pKa, from the graph you will be getting pKa because pH is equal to pKa at half neutralization point. So once you get the pKa, you can easily find out the Ka because minus log of Ka is equal to pKa. Ka is equal to anti-log of minus pKa. Okay. So now you will be given the weak acid in a standard flask, 250 ml standard flask. The moment you get your sample, we will not tell you how much acid we have given. Okay. Now what you have to do is, you have to just make it up to the mark. After making it up to the mark, you have to mix well for uniform concentration. After mixing well from uniform concentration, you have to pipette out 50 ml into a clean beaker. Okay. So now I have taken 50 ml in a clean beaker. In the burette I have filled the sodium hydroxide, 1 normal sodium hydroxide. Then what you have to do is, you have to switch on the instrument. This is the pH meter. Okay. Now what is displayed will be the pH. Now I have not dipped in the solution. Okay. Now what you have to do is, you have to take the electrode. This is the glass electrode, combined glass electrode, which has glass and calomel combined. You have the part in the syllabus, so you will understand the construction of glass electrode. Okay. So now what I do is, now I am recording the initial pH. Okay. Now initial pH of the solution is okay. Now from the burette I am adding 0.5 ml. So now I will add 0.5 ml. Now I need to mix the solution. If I mix it with the glass electrode, it is very sensitive, there are chances of breaking. So we have to blow the solution and mix. Okay, so now we have to see the change in the pH. See, pH increased. Why the pH increased? Because the amount of H plus reduced. Now the solution is going towards the basic medium, but it is not basic, it is not above 7, because still there is acid. We need to find out where the acid completely gets over. Okay, so like that we have to go on adding in an increments of 0.5 ml. Okay. Okay, so now I have added, when I had recorded initially, now then I had 0.5 ml, I recorded the pH. Again I have added 0.5 ml, I have added 2 ml totally, and I have recorded the pH. Now let me see, now I am adding 2.5 ml. This is totally I have added 2.5 ml. See, let me see whether the acid has been neutralized. To find out the pH. The pH is now 11.77. That means now it is no more in the acid range. Now it is in the basic range. That means acid has got over. Now this is the full neutralization point. And at what ml did full neutralization take place? At 2.5 ml of sodium hydroxide. That is what the full neutralization. What will be the half neutralization then? Half neutralization is 2.5 ml divided by 2, that is 1.25. Okay, so at 2.5 ml entire acid has got over, but at 1.25 ml half of the acid is still remaining as acid. That is what we need to know, that is half neutralization point. See, now I have taken, this is pKa determination of a weak acid. Okay, so now in the tabular columns I have recorded the pH of the pH readings of different ml of sodium hydroxide. We have got the jump at 2.5 ml, we have seen that is here. Now what I do is, I will draw a graph. Along the x-axis I will take volume of sodium hydroxide, and along y-axis I will take pH. Okay, so now the scale what I have taken is scale along x-axis 1 centimeter is equal to, I have taken 0.5 ml, therefore 0.5 ml along the x-axis. Y-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit, because 1 pH. Okay, everywhere I have taken in an increment of 1. Now I will plot the graph. Okay. Okay, so now I have plotted all the points. Now what I do is, I will join all the points. Okay, now from here there is a sharp jump, so I will do like this and join all the points. Okay, so now this jump corresponds to 2.5 ml that we have got from the readings. Okay, so this is 2.5 ml where there is full neutralization. Okay, so V, that is which says full neutralization, is 2.5 ml. What is V half? That is V half is 1.25 ml. Okay. Now I have to find out what is the pH at 1.25 ml. Okay. Now I will find out where is 1.2 ml along the x-axis, because along the x-axis I have taken volume of sodium hydroxide. Now this is 1, this is 1.5, therefore this is 1.25. Now I will draw perpendicular to the graph, and where it cuts the graph I will draw perpendicular to the y-axis. Now I have got 5.2. Okay. Now what is that 5.2? Along the y-axis I have taken pH, but this is the point where pH is equal to pKa, because it is the point corresponding to half neutralization point, and at half neutralization point we know that acid is equal to base, acid is equal to salt. Okay. So therefore log of acid by salt becomes 1, because they are same, concentration is the same. So log of 1 is 0, therefore pH is equal to pKa. So at this point is pH, but it is also equal to pKa. Therefore the pKa of the acid is 5.2. Okay. So here say volume of sodium hydroxide corresponding to full neutralization, that is 2.5 ml. Volume corresponds to half neutralization point, that is 1.25 ml. Now pKa of the acid, that is nothing but pH at half neutralization point. Okay, that is 5.2. Okay. Now what is the pKa of the acid? pKa of the acid is 5.2. What is the Ka of the acid? See, pKa is equal to minus log of Ka. I will substitute that. 5.2 is equal to minus log of Ka. And what is Ka? Ka is equal to anti-log of minus 5.2. Okay. So that will be giving you. So now we have got 1 into 10 raised to minus 5, and this is the Ka of the given acid. Okay. That means 0.00001. Okay. So that means it is a very weak acid. Okay. So that is pKa of weak acid. You will be given the acid, volume we will not tell you. Therefore from the jump will be different depending upon the volume, but pKa will be the same. Okay. Ka of acid is a constant. Thank you.